Sounding absolutely magnificent. Live at Maida Vale, that's Galen and Paul with Hacia Arriba, and before that, Room at the Top. A couple more live tunes to come, but hello to Galen.
Hello, hi.
Hello there, this is Gideon, and Marc Riley's here as well. Hello,
Hello.
Paul. Hello, Paul, how are you?
I'm okay, thanks.
That's good.
I'm only joking, no, I'm fine.
Good. Would you like to, perhaps the two of you could introduce the rest of the band you have with you there tonight?
We have Seb Roachford on drums, Leo Williams on bass, Dan Donovan on keyboards, and Simon Tong on electric guitar.
And that's all you could manage tonight. That is something of an all-star band, I think it's fair to say.
Very much so.
There at Maida Vale. Can we just discuss how your musical partnership took shape? Because, as I understand it, post-COVID, and this is sort of summing it up in a couple of sentences, you returned to London from your respective previous locations, Hydra and Mallorca, and separately you'd written songs, and then what happened?
I had a conversation with Galen, and she said something along the lines of, well, maybe you could play bass on this record that I want to do. And I said, well, you know what? I've got some songs. Why don't we work them together and see what happens? And it sort of came about just naturally like that.
Yeah, it was definitely very organic. We'd known each other for quite a while socially, but we'd never really spoken about working together musically. And then one of the other things that we really loved was the fact that we wanted to work on the bilingual side of the album. So me speaking Spanish was helpful. Paul had written some things that he wanted to translate in Spanish, or had ideas from Spain.
Sí.
And
Dos cervezas.
Yeah,
Tres cervezas.
Muy bien. Your voices sound great together as well. Singing in Spanish or indeed in English, talking about the Edgware Road or bickering in Paris. It's all on the LP.
Thank you.
Paul, did you need some encouragement to actually sing on this record?
I'd already started writing songs and singing, howling, and no, it's just that I just wanted to work with Galen. I needed a wonderful voice of Galen to hide mine or disguise it.
But that's not the case, and it's like they I know it's difficult to preempt when things work as well as they do, but your two voices sound really good together. Did that occur to you straight away when you started working together?
Yeah, there was a natural
We thought
blend.
it was the tequila, but the next day it still sounded good. So.
Yeah, you know what? It wasn't difficult really insofar as the singing part. I always took note from David Bowie. He said, always jump in the deep end and you'll either sink or float. So I thought I'd take the jump.
And speaking of David Bowie, Tony Visconti worked on the record. Tell us a bit about how he helps, what he did with this record.
Well, his first comment is, I'm here to help you make the record that you want to make. And he did. Yeah, he had a lot of interesting ideas for the arrangements, but a lot of the time he just was there to listen and bounce off ideas whenever we weren't sure which way we were going. But we were pretty certain. No? Yeah, he did have an idea for one of the songs to have like bassoons and stuff like that. I said, look, Tony, it's a bloody good idea, but you should keep it for your record. Save it.
He's got a very long solo record, apparently.
It'll be full of bassoons. I look forward to hearing it. Now, another musician who we just heard Galen play melodica, but ended up playing melodica on sea shanties, Damon Albarn. And as I understand it, he previously bemoaned the fact that, very specifically, nobody asks him to play melodica on their records. Is that right?
That is very true. And I said, well, if I ever get to the day of making a record, I'm going to phone you up and hold you to it. It was difficult for him because he'd just come all the way from Australia, so he's a bit jet-lagged.
Yeah,
and then I said, no, what you need to do, Damien, on this track, you need to be like this. And then after about 5 minutes, he said, Paul, I'm not very good at taking the instructions. I think, oh, great, now you tell me.
That song is also one of the few to mention the great Robert Newton. We're going to hear it soon.
Yes.
Who more or less invented pirate speak, I think it's fair to say, isn't it?
Well, it's the West Country accent, and Robert Newton is the patron saint of pirates, and they have Pirate Day, and everyone walks around talking like Robert Newton.
Yeah, it helps.
But he's actually Robert Newton is one of my favourite actors, and it's really good in a film called Odd Man Out, where he's actually plays an artist, and his father was an artist called Algernon Newton.
Oh, is he worth investigating? Algernon Newton, I bet. I mean, I know it's Bill Sykes, which is pretty good.
Very good.
Yeah, absolutely terrifying.
Inspiration.
It is Bill Sykes. Now, Galen, can we talk about the guitar that that your dad passed on to you? Because this is the Gibson that Jimi Hendrix had given to him when the Soft Machine and Jimi Hendrix toured. Marc knows about this guitar, do you not, Marc?
I do actually, Galen. Yeah. So, of course, I mean, we're talking about Kevin Ayers at this point in time, and I was lucky enough to meet your dad on several occasions and go and see him playing live. But there was one really peculiar night in the Klondike Club in Levenshulme, which is probably 2 miles out of the city centre, and it had a bowling green out the back, so it was kind of like a social club, really. But your dad was playing on his lonesome. And I do remember he went in and he said, "Oh no, it's too bright in here. Can you lower the lights?" And so somebody just shouted, "It's either on or off, Kevin." And so he said, "Off." So they turned the lights off and it was pitch black. And then you just heard a voice from the darkness going, "On." And he came on, he continued, he did a brilliant set. And then at the end of the night, we were all just in the bar having a drink. And Tim, who was managing your dad at that point in time, ran in and said, "Has anybody seen Kevin's guitar?" And we're like, "No." He said, "It's gone, it's been stolen." And so we ran around the building, we ran around the bowling green, looking in the bushes to see if anybody had nicked it and stashed it to come back later. And we looked for a good 3/4 of an hour, nothing. And Tim was absolutely, completely stressing about it, understandably. And then about half an hour later, he came back in and went, it's okay, we've got the guitar. Do you know this story?
No.
Right.
It wasn't me.
No, it wasn't me either. But they did search me, obviously, because I'm that type of guy. No, what happened was that this 16-year-old kid had been watching your dad, and he wasn't a miscreant. He was just so in awe of Kevin Ayers that when the guitar was left on its own in the little concert room, he took it off with him into the night.
Yes.
And he got a pang of guilt around about a mile away from the venue and brought it back. And at that point in time, I didn't know. But I rang Tim the next day and said, "Oh, that all worked out okay." He said, "Yeah, you don't know the half of it." He said, "That is the guitar that Jimi Hendrix gave to Kevin Ayers at the end of the Soft Machine Hendrix tour in America." So you nearly didn't have that guitar.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's another layer of anxiety. Thank you.
But it's safe and sound. It's safe and sound now.
It's safe and sound with me. And the light thing, I'm the same. So I would have said off too. We have sensitive eyes in the Ayers family. But also just for ambience. Yeah, the guitar, when I was 21, he basically surprised me. He was playing it. It's a sound I'm very familiar with. And when I was 21, I think we were in France, and he put it in the guitar case, closed the guitar case, and kind of lightly kicked it towards me and said, "Take over, kid." And
Fantastic. Absolutely great. So I'm going to mention the shows in a moment. It strikes me you've been busy enough. You had the LP came out about a year ago. We've had the EP since then. Have you kept writing? Is there new material as well?
Yeah, there's work bubbling along, and it's just finding the time with daily life to sit down when Galen's in town to put our minds together.
Fantastic.
And see what we've got.
We look forward. When you're ready, we'll be ready for it. And 2 shows later this month at the Bush Hall in London, which is a great venue. 24th, 25th of this month. Go see Galen and Paul at Bush Hall if you possibly can. And 2 more numbers to come. What's the next one you like to play?
A sea shanty.
Here we go.
And then after that, it's Get a Life.
Okay.
You get a life.
I've got one.